Well, hello and welcome to the DIY Kitchen Stadium for this round 19 championship clash against third place Sheffield Eagles. And after last week's victory at the Dewsbury Rams, Trinity remains 7 points clear at the top with just 8 games to play, including this one tonight. Sheffield, of course, you'll all recall, were the opponents when Trinity triumphantly lifted the 1895 Cup on that glorious afternoon at Wembley in early June. In terms of the team news, 4 Trinity players drop out who were on duty last week at Dewsbury. That's Noah Booth, Jack Croft, Josh Bowden and Harvey Smith, with some experienced men coming in. Matty Ashurst, Jermaine McGilvray, Ian Thornley and Luke Gale returning. So Trinity line up like this with Lachlan Walmsley at full back, 3/4 of Jermaine McGilvray, Ian Thornley, Oliver Pratt and Darrell Alforts. In the halves, it's Luke Gale and Max Jowett. Front row, Kai Rodwell, Liam Hood and Luke Bain. Second row, Matty Ashurst, Josh Griffin and Jay Pitts. And on the bench, Liam Kay, Toby Boothroyd, Thomas Doyle and Isaac Shaw. For the Eagles, it's Marsh at full back, Jones Bishop, Welland Glover and Dawson Jones in the 3/4. Aston and Hanson in the halves, Batty, Halafi, Clark, Bauer, Jesse Senilafeo and Titus Guays make up the starting 13 for the Eagles. And on the bench, it's Hodgson, Broadbent, Liu and Roberts. My name's Graham Colley and I'm standing in for Terry Crook, who's enjoying a well-earned break in the sun. So it's GC in for TC this evening, and of course, as always, the man providing the pictures is Andy Davis, and it's Andy's birthday today. So without any further ado, let's say happy birthday to Andy. He's been well fed and watered at lunchtime, and he's absolutely raring to go this evening, as we all are, I'm sure. It's top against third, and the Eagles, through Corey Aston, get us underway then at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. First ball is taken by Lachlan Walmsley, and Trinity in their familiar home strip of those with the red, white and blue V across the chest, bring the ball clear in the middle of the park. As I mentioned, some big names returning for the Trin tonight with Ashurst and McGilvray and Thornley and Gale, but they're missing some men in the middle tonight, the Trin, with the likes of Vanganar, Cozza, Bowden, Atone and Caleb Welly all missing from the lineup. So let's wait and see how Darryl Pole rotates those forwards tonight. Liam Hood at dummy half, on to Gale, to the captain, Matty Ashurst. Ashurst is over halfway and he's hauled to the ground by Connor Bauer. Titus Guays in there at the tackle as well. And Trinity on the last then with Gale. Gale will launch one in those bright orange boots of his. And it's well taken at the back there by Matty Marsh. So a decent end to the set by the Trin. Matty Marsh, the Eagles fullback, who was suspended for that 1895 Cup final for the Eagles. Here comes Ben Jones Bishop. Welcome back to the stadium for Ben Jones Bishop as well. 116 games for the Trin. 64 tries during that period as well. Great servant between 2016 and 2020 as the Eagles midway inside their own half, as Titus Guaz in the middle of the park looks to make some headway, but Pitts and Rodwell are in the middle there. Now here's another experienced man, Jesse Senilafeo, who I'm sure you'll all remember from his Castleford and Featherstone days in the UK, formerly of Manly in the NRL as well. A kick on the last for the Eagles, so a really tidy set in the opening stages here for both teams. A glorious evening, pitch in absolutely immaculate condition. The stadium tonight looking an absolute picture, I've got to say. Good crowd in as well, as Trinity look to build on that victory last week. Of course, they beat Dewsbury by 42 points to 16. Just what that one defeat against Toulouse to blemish the otherwise impeccable record in the championship this season. They're up towards the halfway line on this right hand edge as Griffin goes to ground. Hood at dummy half, Pitts to Rodwell. Rodwell always on the move, isn't he? Rodwell makes some good meters after contact as well. Trinity on the last with Gale. Gale launches a high one. It's gone towards that edge as well, and Ben Jones Bishop doesn't quite deal with it under pressure from Darrell Alforts. Alforts might have just got a touch on that one, I think. and knocks the ball dead, but already those teasing kicks from Luke Gale causing problems in back play for the Eagles. Still 0-0 here on this bright August evening. Floodlights on, and here's Senny Lefeo with a twist and a turn in the tackle. Ian Thornley back in the team, assisting Griffin in the tackle, but Senny Lefeo was knocked on at the play the ball there. Well, he'll be disappointed with that. He started on the bench last week in a game that Sheffield very narrowly won against Doncaster. They come into this game having beaten Doncaster 22-20 in a really tight game last week. But Senny Lefeo promoted to start the game today. The season campaign, he's 34 now, but a knock on there and a real opportunity for Daryl Powell's men then to put some early pressure on this Sheffield Eagles team. Jowett playing in the halves, of course, at the moment. A hat-trick at Dewsbury for him last week. A man really in form. Ball comes out. It's with Pitts. Pitts with the offload to Ollie Pratt. Pratt running infield. And Trinity can go left or right from here. They'll come right. Hood to Rodwell. Rodwell, wearing 18, runs into 3 Eagles tacklers. The Eagles in their familiar all red strip with a yellow V across the chest. Now it's with Hood. Hood to Pitts. Pitts with a drive towards the post. Now then, is this where Trinity spin it out left or right? They're coming right this time. In fact, Rodwell's going on his own. Can Rodwell force his way over? It looks as though he's over the line. Kai Rodwell he is, but he can't quite get the ball down. And the referee tonight, who is Aaron Moore, who will be familiar to watchers of Super League games, in charge of this match in the Championship tonight. Couldn't quite get it down. Now it's with Jowett. Jowett with a dummy, steps back off the right foot. Runs into traffic though, and there's no way through. They're on the last. Trinity 5 metres away. Hood tries to get Griffin over. Short pass. Griffin trying to use his weight and his size and his power. But there's how many? 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 Eagles defenders there to prevent him getting the ball over the line. So the Eagles goal line defence standing up to the early Wakefield pressure at the moment, and Trinity can't quite break through and get that early try on the board as the Eagles are pushed back towards their own goal line. Here they come forward now. Good run by Mitch Clark. Clark again is tackled by his opposite number, Luke Bain, for the Trent. Pitts was in there as well. So was Ashurst. Now it's Eddie Batty. Of course, a number of years at the Trent. 76 games he played for Wakefield, actually. 32 now. Eddie Batty starting in the front row for the Eagles tonight. 15 metres short of the halfway. Haven't really had the ball in the Trinity half so far, though. And they won't yet either, because more good defence by a combination of Ashurst and Gale preventing any further progress. The ball coming back to Corey Aston. Aston launches a high kick into Trinity territory, but Jermaine McGilvery comfortable, more than comfortable, and here he comes on one of those rampaging runs of his, really well appreciated by this big crowd tonight here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. Coming up to the 7-minute mark, still waiting for the first score. It's Trinity in possession with Lachlan Walmsley. Hood scampers away onto Alforts. Alforts to Gale. Good hands in the middle of the park from the trim there. Gale in support. Alforts, who's enjoying a golden period in the red, white and blue at the moment, isn't he? Here's Pitts. Pitts had Bain in support on the right-hand side, decided to hold on. Trinity attacking the middle part of the field. They'll go left. Walmsley's gone left, the full-back. Gale's there. Opts to go inside, though, to Rodwell. Rodwell, of course, who signed that new 4-year deal not too long ago. Hood to Gale. Gale this time is going to go on his own, but you've got to say it's really good defence from the Eagles. Trinity are throwing some good shape at the Eagles over on that left-hand side, as Wakefield so often do. It's so often the undoing of so many Championship teams, as Trinity move it well out onto that left-hand edge, but Sheffield are aware of the danger there and they've defended really, really well, so that will give them some encouragement. 2 meetings already, of course, between these two, this season. Trinity, of course, winning the 1895 Cup, as we mentioned earlier, at Wembley by 50 points to 6. What a win that was, wasn't it? And of course, they won at Sheffield back in May, Trinity, by 36 points to 10. So Daryl Powell's team looking for a hat-trick of victories. Now, Aston with a long kick towards that side. I think he's fancying a 40-20 there. Didn't quite get the direction, and in any event, Walmsley was quickly across to his left and was aware of the danger, but they followed up pretty quickly, the Eagles. Ben Jones-Bishop quickly up there, so is Chris Wellham, 2 seasoned campaigners on that right-hand edge. Good burst forward by Ollie Pratt, and an ooh and an ah from the north stand. Trinity fans behind the sticks at that end, not too happy. And there's an even bigger roar this time, because Darrell Olferts is caught high, and Aaron Moore, the referee, will blow for a penalty this time, and Trinity will have that penalty 5 metres short of the halfway line. So can Trinity capitalise on this early possession here? Sheffield giving as good as they get, not on attack, but certainly defensively they've been up to the challenge. But can they hold out this time? Good kick by Luke Gale over onto that far touchline. Trinity moved the ball really well from left to right here. Oh, Walmsley, can he find a way through the gap? Good cover tackle coming in by Corey Aston. And he goes to ground. Here's Thornley. Thornley to Jowett. Jowett to Pitts. Good quick handling across the line by the Trin. But Clark again is in there at the tackle, and there's no way through, as Guaz was there again. This time there's a spin by Luke Gale. Trinity keep the ball moving. Max Jowett searching for the gap, but a good tackle round the ankles by Halafi'i for the Eagles. Senny Lafayette was round top as well. Now it's with Pitts. Pitts to Gale. Here's Walmsley. Walmsley to Pratt. Pratt just can't quite wrestle himself free there. And again, the Eagles have shuffled across and fronted up well. Trinity just can't find a way through at the moment. Gale to Pitts in the middle of the park. Little run around there. Move with Luke Bain. Bain, little settler really, wasn't it, from Bain? 10 metres out. Oh, it's all a bit scruffy and untidy, and the ball's gone to ground. And, well, Daryl Powell, I think, will be disappointed with the end to that set. There's some danger here. My goodness me, that was an important tackle by Lachlan Walmsley. An ankle tap on Ben Jones-Bishop, because once Ben Jones-Bishop is in the clear, as we all know, of a red, white and blue persuasion, that man takes some catching, and he would have been pretty much in the clear there, I think. The Eagles up towards halfway. Here's Eddie Batty. Batty. Tackled round the ankles by Liam Hood. Rodwell was there as well. Now it's Guaz. Guaz with the offload. Sheffield, a team who, that looks like, oh, there's a hand in there, is there, from Luke Bain? I think there is. Penalty to the Eagles. I'm just about to say that Sheffield are a team who certainly throw the ball around. They're third in the table, just a point behind Toulouse in second. And they've just had 5 defeats so far this season. And they're 3 points clear of Widnes, who are just behind them in 4th. So it's all pretty tight in those 2nd, 3rd, 4th and indeed 5th places in the Championship. But here come the Eagles for the first time on attack. Aston, Marsh with a long ball, and for a moment Matty Dawson-Jones actually, had he been able to take that, he would have been a certain scorer pretty much. But Jermaine McGilvray had read the danger really well and just got a big, tall right hand onto that, knocked the ball forward. He's knocked it on, no question about that, but I think he's very much a try-saver for the Trin. So the Eagles there just sounding a little warning for Trinity and just showing that they have got some tricks of their own, that's for sure. A really well-drilled side, Sheffield Eagles there. In 3rd position in the table for a reason, that is for sure. Halafi'i with the offload to Hansen. Hansen with the offload as well, and they're already within 5 metres of the Trinity line. Halafi'i at dummy half. It's going to come this left-hand side with Aston. Aston with the offload to Glover. Glover tries to step off the left foot, but Trinity are across. Jowett was there, so was Thornley. Halafi'i back to Aston again. Aston to Batty. Batty with a charge towards the line. Great tackle by Liam Hood. First real test defensively for the Trin this. Here's Jesse Senilafeo, who goes to ground, and they're only just a metre or so away. Halafi tries to drive over. Can he wrestle himself free? No, he can't. It's on the last. And no, it's not on the last. There's one more remaining. But he's held up just short. Great goal line defence by the Trin. The Eagles have lost it, and Lachlan Walmsley will come away. Well, he doesn't need a second invitation, Lachlan Walmsley, does he? And for a moment, it looked as though there might be some daylight between him and the try line. But the Eagles got back to haul him down. But first real test in defence for the Trin, and they've stood up to that test as Alforts just makes a charge up towards that halfway line. 8 games remaining in the championship, of course, including this one tonight. 6 of those 8 here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. So lots of opportunities to come down and watch the Trin between now and the end of the season. Another pass goes loose. It's collected by Jermaine McGilvray. Here he comes. Good burst down the middle, but Titus Guazi's there, and there's no way through. Jesse Senilafeo there to help out. Now it's with Griffin. Griffin just runs straight into Halafi'i, the Eagles' number 9. Already on the last. Here's Hood. Hood to Gale. Gale launches a high kick towards that left-hand side again. Ben Jones-Bishop has to come for it. And Alforts has done really well there. Well, credit to Darrell Alforts. He couldn't get there, in all fairness. Ben Jones-Bishop was the first there. He got there, but my goodness, how quickly Darrell Alforts pounced there and just dragged Ben Jones-Bishop into touch. Great bit of work from Alforts, who seems to have made that position on that left flank his own in recent weeks. Lachlan Walmsley was occupying that position, wasn't he, in the early stages of the season. It's been a real battle between the pair of them on that left-hand side. Walmsley switching to full-back tonight. Walmsley, the leading try-scorer in the championship. Alforts is the second on the try-scoring charts in the championship. Here's Hood. Hood with a dummy. Oh, and 2 or 3 Eagles defenders took it. And there's Kai Rodwell. Rodwell goes over with the first try of the night. It was a big dummy by Liam Hood initially that created the opening. All the Eagles defence seemed to shuffle across to their left-hand side. Hood then switched it out to his left. And there was Kai Rodwell to go over for another try for this prolific prop forward, sponsored of course by Driftwood Gin. Kai Rodwell, and Trinity have the lead and open the scoring. Wakefield Trinity 4, Sheffield Eagles 0. The pressure finally telling, the Eagles defence finally cracking, and some nice work by Liam Hood, it's got to be said. Played in the halves last week. He's got great hands, hasn't he, Liam Hood? We know that. And there with a terrific dummy, which, well, the vast majority of the Eagles' defence seemed to take there. And Rodwell, in fairness, had a pretty smooth passage towards the line and got over to the left of the post. Wakefield Trinity 4, Sheffield Eagles 0. And Max Jowett will have the opportunity from just to the left of the post. How prolific has he been with the boot, by the way, this season, Max Jowett. And he'll look to get his first attempt through the middle. Up he steps now, takes his time, and why not? The right boot through the middle. Cue the music, and Trinity have got what they wanted. They've got the first point on the board. Wakefield Trinity 6, Sheffield Eagles 0. Courtesy of that try by Kai Rodwell. Trinity, as I mentioned, 7 points clear at the top. Toulouse in second. So if Trinity do win this game tonight, they have the opportunity to temporarily at least go 9 points clear at the top, with Toulouse not playing until tomorrow, when they are away at Doncaster, which will be no easy game for them. But as it stands at the moment, Trinity are going the right way about it. 6-0 ahead then. Corey Aston will get things back underway again. There's quite a breeze blowing tonight, I have to say. And the ball just spinning and swirling in the air. Here's Walmsley, though. He's well policed in the middle by Eddie Batty. Titus Squires, Halafi's in there as well. Now it's with Thornley, back in the side tonight after injury. Halafi in again. So is Titus Squires in again as well, as Thornley eventually goes to ground. Now here comes the prolific Josh Griffin. Griffin held up 5 metres short of the halfway line as these big Trinity forwards come rolling forward again. Great hands here, though. Here's Gale to Ashurst. Matty Ashurst in his testimonial season, of course. Tackled just inside the Eagles' half. Here's Rodwell, the try scorer. Well, he's got such great leg drive. Isn't that just a joy to see from Guy Rodwell? Hood at dummy half to Gale. Well, we can see the tactic now as Gale launches one to the corner again, but he's kicking to the experienced head and the experienced hands of Ben Jones-Bishop, who will be 36 later this month, Ben Jones-Bishop. But wasn't that a great partnership when Trinity had Ben Jones-Bishop on the right flank and Tom Johnson on the left not too many years ago? We can all look forward, of course, to Tom Johnston returning to the red, white and blue next season. I think we're all in agreement that we're all looking forward to that. Here's the fullback, Matty Marsh, though. Matty Marsh has found a gap here and found some space. He's got some support on his inside. Great hands. Here's Hansen. Can Hansen get all the way? But brilliant defensive work by Max Jowett. How on earth did Max Jowett get back to make that tackle? I will never know. They looked certain scorers. There was some terrific support play by the Eagles, but Max Jowett getting the plaudits, the pats on the back, and why not? Great bit of defence, Andy. From unbelievable, says Andy. Absolutely fabulous piece of work. Remember, he's playing in the halves as well. He's not at full back tonight, but he got back there brilliantly to save a certain try. And Max Jowett showing that turn of pace that we know that he's got this time, utilising it to really good effect defensively for the Trin, and the 6-0 Trinity lead stays intact. But again, the Eagles showing that they are a danger, no question about that. And it was the burst by Matty Marsh, wasn't it, initially, who created that danger as he burst clear through the Trinity defensive line on halfway. Now it's Ollie Pratt. Ollie Pratt also in the bright orange boots. I believe they're brand new as well. He wore them for the first time at Dewsbury last week. And back out they come again tonight. Here's Griffin, just shrugs aside Corey Aston as if he wasn't there. Offloads to Thornley. Thornley makes about 5 or 6 metres, but it's close to going into touch, but goes to ground. McGilvray's pass to Griffin. Jowett was there in support if Griffin could have found him, but Griffin doing the sensible thing and holding on in heavy traffic. Comes to Gale. Gale will launch this one to the right-hand side. All the other kicks have been out over on that left-hand side. Collected by Marsh. And some inventive full-back play by Marsh there, no doubt about that, to Ben Jones-Bishop. And the Eagles showing that they're capable and willing and able, certainly, to move the ball around. Mitch Marsh will go to ground just outside his own 10-metre area. Ashurst in there, Pratt as well. And the Eagles again will have to make progress deep inside their own territory. As again, Rodwell and Pitts in at the tackle. More good defence by the Trin again, keeping Sheffield deep inside their own territory. 2 wins against Sheffield, as I mentioned before, for the Trin this season. So will Sheffield have revenge in mind? I wonder if that's been part of their narrative during the week in preparation for this game. Aston to Senny Lefeo. Senny Lefeo with the offload. There's a big long kick coming in from Glover, but all he does is succeed in kicking the ball straight to Darrell Alford. Alford tries to skip away from one tackle. Another good defensive set, though, by the Trin, that wasn't it? Really solid in defence it was. And now Walmsley in the line, trying to make some progress. 17 tries in the championship for Walmsley this season, a lot more take into account the cup competitions as well. But the wingers helping out as well. Jermaine McGilvray in the middle, Eddie Batty in the tackle. Now it's Hood to Pitts. Pitts quickly onto that ball. Good strong challenge in defence though by the Eagles. I think one of the interesting facets of the game for the Trin tonight will be how Darryl Powell rotates his middles, with just one middle really in Isaac Shaw on the bench tonight. Great burst there by Rodwell again. Now it comes out to Jowett. Jowett with a kick towards the corner. It's going to be well taken by Marsh, and Marsh actually has done really well, not just to take it under pressure from Thornley, but remain in the field of play as well under pressure, Matty Marsh. So well done to him. And Ben Jones-Bishop will try and bring the ball clear again for the Sheffield Eagles. Darryl Powell has been at pains this week to talk about the qualities of Sheffield Eagles, and that in fact they are a team who can throw the ball around, that can use the width of the pitch. He's identified that as a danger, and Trinity certainly at the moment have been up to the task. Here's the Wellham at the play the ball. Out to Aston again. Corey Aston, of course, is the son of the head coach Mark Aston, who interestingly has been suspended recently by the club, along with physio Mick Hayes, on an RFL compliance matter, and they will be appearing before an operational rules tribunal at the RFL shortly. So Mark Aston, as far as I'm aware, is not present in the stadium tonight, and I saw Paul Broadbent, a former Trinity player on the coaching staff at Sheffield, who was talking about this game midweek for the Eagles, representing the Eagles coaching staff. Trinity, meanwhile, back on attack again, looking for what would be the second try of the night. Gale, oh, it's a great step again from Tommy Doyle. Doyle, who's just come onto the field, and he's showing up really well, Doyle, of late in the loose. Goes to ground just short of the line. Good defence by the Eagles, though. Here's Gale. Gale with a long ball over the top. Darrell Alfords couldn't quite take that in. It had the look of a bit of a speculator about it from Luke Gale. It was just too high and a touch in front of Alfords. He got a left hand to it but couldn't hold on. And that just eases the pressure on the Eagles. And they've got a tap inside their own 10-metre area, and we've got something like 21 minutes or so on the clock at the moment, as Trinity again in defensive mode at the moment. Toby Boothroyd is on there as well, but it's Ashurst and Pitts. That trio of Ashurst, Griffin and Pitts have been a great presence in the pack for the Trin this season. Here's Corey Aston with a right boot. He's outside the 20, so it wouldn't have been a 40-20 anyway. It fell well short, and it's picked up and collected by Lachlan Walmsley, who is tackled 10 metres short of the halfway line. Here's Alfords looking for work in the middle of the park. A few groans and moans in the crowd here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. I think there were more than one or two Trinity fans thought that shot might have been high. Referee didn't think so. Here's McGilvray. McGilvray again on the burst. Senny Lefeo, so strong in the tackle as he has been so often down the years. Here's Pitts as Trinity try and move it to the left again. Ashurst takes a short ball from Gale, but just runs into traffic there. And there's no way through. Here's Hood. Hood goes towards the centre. Hood with a right-footed kick. Can Boothroyd get on the end of it? It's hacked forward. And Josh Griffin picks up the ball. And Josh Griffin goes over for Trinity's second try. And, it's the least they deserve, really, because they have certainly spent much more time on attack in the Eagles' 20-metre area than the Eagles have in Trinity's 20. And Liam Hood with a little right-footed stab through. I'm not totally convinced that it was initially intended for Josh Griffin, But nonetheless, after a ricochet, Griffin was aware, and as he often is, he's quite a poacher, isn't he? Josh Griffin near the line. Just sensed an opportunity for a try, picked up and got the ball down over the line. Trinity then now 10 points to 0 ahead, and I suspect that the alarm bells will maybe starting to ring in the Eagles camp. They have had that one chance, that one breakaway, but other than that, they've had little to show for their 28 minutes worth of effort tonight. 10-0 to the Trin then, and it's going to the script in terms of Trinity at the top and the Eagles in third in the championship, and home advantage of course for the Trin as well, as Max Jowett once again converts. He's not going to miss from there, Max Jowett, that is for sure, and the right boot of Jowett makes it Trinity 12, Sheffield 0. And, well, Trinity are well on their way. As I mentioned before, just 7 games remaining in this season. And I sense that all attention will probably turn towards the run-in after tonight. It's been a short turnaround for the Trin, having played at Dewsbury on Sunday, turning around from Sunday to Friday tonight. With 7 matches to go after this, it's all about then getting into preparation for the playoffs at the end of the season. Of course, it's a top 6 playoff system in the championship. The top 2 will have a week off, and then teams in 3 to 6 will play each other for the right to play a semi-final against teams who finish first and second. So in theory, Trinity finish top, they have a home semi-final in the playoffs and a home final, of course, if they win that as well. Although that's still some time away, still a lot of work to do for the Trin, and a vital 2 points, of course, at stake tonight. Here's the try scorer with Griffin. He's held up by Roberts, Oliver Roberts, on the field now for the Eagles. Spent much of his career at Huddersfield Giants, a good 7 years I think he was at the Giants, and more decent defence in the middle of the park by Sheffield. Bauer was in there. This time it's the kick by Gale, an attempted charge down by Hodgson, collected though by Ben Jones-Bishop. The offload to Marsh. How good's the chase? The chase is good, a really well drilled chase by the Trin. Daryl Powell has talked about some inconsistencies in some performances since Wembley, actually, since they won the 1895 trophy, but has been at pains to say, quite rightly, that there's been some inconsistencies in terms of the teams he's been able to put out, such as being the injury list that has affected the Trin, particularly in recent weeks. The Eagles are playing the ball 10 metres inside the Trin half. Again, Aston will kick. It's going to be McGilvery again. The ball moves a lot in the air. It bounces, and well, it's not a great end to that set. So a 7-tackle set for the Trin. Quick tap by Walmsley, and here's McGilvery. And again, he makes it. Oh, look at the leg drive on Jermaine McGilvery. Crowd really enjoying that one. Great applause from the North Stand, and from the big crowd across in the Neil Fox MBE stand, of course, as well, as Thornley plays the ball just short of halfway. Now it's with Griffin, who just knocks, I think it's Aston, to the ground, but in doing so, he's lost the ball, and the ball just spills out, and he apologises to his teammates, Josh Griffin. So a disappointing end to the Eagles set just prior, and a disappointing end to the Trinity set that followed. So here's Guaze now, who makes his way halfway inside that Trinity half of the field. Griffin's down by the ankles. Oh, there's a tip tackle there. Griffin was round the ankles, and he's lifted the Sheffield Eagles player above the horizontal. The Eagles man there was Evan Hodgson, and the referee Aaron Moore was in no doubt that that was a penalty, not intentional tip tackle, I'm sure. But nonetheless, it looked like a fair decision from where we're sat as Roberts takes the ball in. He's quite a size, he's Roberts. Difficult man to get to ground. It's taken 3 Trinity defenders to do that. But an opportunity for the Eagles to put Trinity under some pressure here. Hansen to Guaze. Guaze goes to ground. Great tackle. Man and ball. Great work by Hood. Here's Hansen. Ball goes across towards the middle again. But again, Trinity wrap up the man and ball in front of the post. Tommy Doyle was in there at the tackle that time. Now it's with Aston. Aston will bring it out to the left-hand side. Marsh tries to dab one through. Well, actually, the better ball from Aston might have been the long ball, I think, out to Matty Dawson-Jones on the touchline there. But he looked as though he might have had some space on the touchline. He couldn't find him, though, Matty Marsh. Tried the kick through. There's heavy traffic. And Trinity come away with it. So they've dealt with that Sheffield Eagles attack really, really well. And Trinity can now launch another attack of their own. About 6 minutes remaining of the first half here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. It's going to plan for the Trin. 12-0 ahead. Rodwell and Griffin with the 2 tries. Now it's with Gale. Gale who just forces the Eagles back deep inside their own territory again. Here comes Ben Jones-Bishop. He's an elusive runner, isn't he? Gets away from one. Does he get away from a second? No, he doesn't. Jermaine McGilvray has got him wrapped up, assisted there by Josh Griffin. Tommy Doyle was there as well. Here's the wingman, Matty Dawson-Jones, who's been round the clubs, hasn't he? Former St Helens, Lee, Bradford Bulls, Dawson-Jones as well during his career. Hansen has gone to dummy half for the Eagles. He waits. Ball's played by Wellham, and now it's Guaze. Guaze is held up by Griffin as the Eagles look towards this left-hand edge to make some progress. They go back towards the middle, and the offload again to Evan Hodgson, but he's met by a really strong challenge by Hood and by Pitts as well. And it's back to Aston again, who just drills a ball into touch. And I just wonder really there with that kick from Aston whether there's a sense of the Eagles just wanting a break in the action, just wanting a break in the play, just wanting to just get some breath into their lungs. It's been a pretty frantic opening, not too many stoppages. I don't think we've had the physios on the field, Andy, have we, so far? And so Sheffield maybe just feeling it a touch. A relieving kick for the Eagles then. So it's to play the ball for the Trin. We're entering the last 4 minutes of the first half. Just beginning to see a little bit of darkness and a bit more coolness in the air as the darkness starts to appear here over the DIY Kitchen Stadium. As I mentioned, a really good crowd in. Really good attendance in hospitality as well tonight. And there's a tip tackle as well by Guaze this time. So similar to the one that we saw earlier on Evan Hodgson by the Trinity players. The referee quick to clamp down on that. And Trinity have got a penalty and an opportunity then to try and launch something as we approach the half-time siren. Trinity with the 12-0 lead. I'm sure they'd welcome another try before the break. And the kick to touch is a good one. And inside that 30-metre area, here's Tommy Doyle, who, as I mentioned before, is a real live wire in the loose. Coming on at loose forward and running elusively and quickly. Here's Boothroyd. Boothroyd gets his head down. And he's held up just short of the 10. Now then, Hood spins it left to Pitts. Pitts wants to go on his own. He can see the line, but the defensive door closes just as Pitts fancied going through it. Gale with the short ball. The ball will go loose. Ashurst couldn't quite hold on as the Eagles look to counter over on the far side. Ben Jones-Bishop, though, can't wrestle himself clear of Ollie Pratt. But there's a quick play the ball. And Trinity need to avoid conceding now just before the break. Well, the pass from Gale to Ashurst was probably a touch high and there was certainly some pace in the pass as well. And Matty Ashurst coming on that diagonal run that we've seen so often from him down the years, back inside, couldn't quite hold on, and the Eagles will counter now just over halfway line with Jesse Senilafeo again. Griffin in there at the tackle with Thornley. Here's Aston calling the shots in the middle. Gwaze goes to ground. It's with Jack Hansen. Hansen to Bauer. Bauer with the offload. They're keeping the ball alive. Happy to do that. Gwaze, can he get there? He can. And this could be a 6 again. Was there a Trinity hand on that? I think there was. Referee Aaron Moore says yes, there was. So the Eagles can continue with another set here. Here's Wellham. Wellham with that offload, and Roberts keeps the Eagles coming forward in the middle of the park. Trinity player receiving some attention there. I think it's Toby Boothroyd. We spoke too soon about the conditioners coming on, didn't we? Matt Crowther on there helping Toby Boothroyd, who seems to be okay. The thumbs up from Crowther, the physio there, as Sheffield come down the middle again. And there's a knock on by Hodgson. Well, we know they're happy to move the ball, but at the moment they've not been able to, well, they've moved it, but they've not been able to hold on to it for long enough, the Eagles, and they've certainly let Trinity off and relieved the pressure and not really put Trinity under too much pressure close to their own line. Here's McGilvray. McGilvray over halfway. Trinity have kept their line intact, and I know that's something that Darryl Powell will be really, really pleased about. They base their game on a really strong defence, Trinity, don't they? And they've looked strong tonight. As Pitts with the offload. Great hands in the middle of the field, Jay Pitts. Offload to Griffin. Here's Liam Hood. Hood to Pitts again. Now it's Tommy Doyle. Doyle comes forward again, and he's held as he goes to ground. Here's Hood, who goes on his own. Hood, short ball to Gale. Gale back to Pitts. Pitts is almost reversing back to the line. He can't quite get the ball down, Jay Pitts. He's held up. Now then, Trinity fans despairing with the referee. They want that Trinity to get on with it here. There's a ball just patted out by Gale. Alforts will pick up. What a pick-up by Darrell Alforts. Right on the hooter. Well, Luke Gale, it wasn't a great pass to Gale, and Gale just patted the ball out to the left-hand side. And he did well to make sure that the ball didn't go forward, Luke Gale, actually, as he patted the ball forward out to the left. And then it was all about whether Darrell Alforts, on the charge, on the burst, at pace, could pick that ball up down by his ankles. And you have to say, what a brilliant pickup by Alforts to score his 17th try of this championship season. Darrell Alforts, sponsored by Future Einsteins, and he's almost an Einstein himself, Alforts there, isn't he, for working out how to pick that ball up round by his ankles at pace and to get that ball down in the corner. And Trinity right on the hooter as well as he put the ball down, Darrell Alforts. And we said that they could well do with a try just before half-time to give them that extra breathing space, the Trin. And Darryl Powell and Michael Shenton and Danny Kermon, the coaching staff, will be pleased with this first half performance, I'm sure. 3 tries without reply, and now Max Jowett from the touchline. As I say, the half-time siren's gone, so the teams will disappear down the tunnel at half-time once this kick has been taken. And this would be a nice way to go into the sheds at the break, wouldn't it, if Jowett could nail this from the touchline. It is a breezy and blustery night as he strikes it really nicely. Was it ever in doubt from Max Jowett? Another wonderful kick from the touchline from the Wakefield Trinity goal-kicking maestro, Max Jowett. A terrific first half performance, as Trinity, as a group, leave the field and go down the tunnel. I'm sure Daryl Powell will be absolutely delighted with that first half performance. Tries to Kai Rodwell, to Josh Griffin, and to Darrell Alforts right on the stroke of half time. And Trinity go in a really, really positive and promising position. Half time here then at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. Wakefield Trinity 18, Sheffield Eagles 0.
Please welcome the Trinity X Dance Team. Please thank the Trinity X Dance Team. Right.
Well, welcome back to the two teams as they emerge from the tunnel of the Neil Fox MBE stand. Trinity, well, you would think the Trinity dressing room would be a happy place at half-time, but I'm sure the words of Daryl Powell would be around no place for complacency in the lineup in this second half. But the Trin have set a really solid foundation in the first 40 minutes here tonight with those three first half tries. Rodwell, Griffin and Alforts, the try scorers so far. And when the chances have come, Trinity have been clinical and taken them. And when they've been under pressure so far tonight, the defence has been solid and sound and well organised. Sheffield, I'm guessing, would be disappointed that they haven't thrown more at Wakefield in that first half. I think that tells you something about the quality of the Wakefield defence tonight. Sure, that'll be an aspect of the game that Daryl Powell will be happy with as the second half then gets underway. Max Jowett with the kick towards the Sheffield Eagles line. He practiced that for at least 5 or 6 minutes prior to kick-off. Max Jowett, that kick-off routine. Must have taken 5 or 6 kicks from the centre spot when they were out warming up and practicing prior to the start of the game tonight. So the Eagles then, with first use of the ball in this second half, Senny Lefeo, who takes it down the middle. Now it's Guaze. As I mentioned previously, former Trinity man, of course. 5 appearances for the first team here. back in 2019, 2020 it is now. So time moving on quickly. Now it's with Bailey Liu, the New Zealander, Scottish international. And the ball comes back to Corey Aston again. Aston's kick is an awkward one for Walmsley to take, but in the end he doesn't need to take it because he just allows that one to run touching goal, Lachlan Walmsley. And so, well, Aston will be disappointed, I suspect, with the outcome of that kick. And Trinity now can build from their own 20-metre line. Here's Alford. Looks like a real man in form, as I mentioned already tonight. Here's Hood. McGilvery, who always looks like a man in form, doesn't he? What a great carry from Jermaine McGilvery. The Trinity fans love to see that. Hood to Thornley. So the Trinity backline eager and in action early in this second period. Gale with the offload to Ashurst. Ashurst will be tackled inside that Eagles 20-metre area, so a promising opening to this second half for the Trin then. It goes back to Pitts in the middle. Pitts looks for support on his own. On his right, I should say, but he goes on his own, Jay Pitts. Has he got the ball down? The North Standers think he might have done. Referee says no, he's really well placed, the official. The ball goes back to Jowett. Jowett with a kick behind the line. Aston has to deal with it. And he does. He just knocks the ball dead. And the Eagles will have a goal line dropout. Well, I guess Trinity will have almost followed Darryl Powell's wishes and instructions to the letter there by ensuring that they start the second half with a high tempo and put the opposition under pressure. That's just what they've done. There's the dropout collected by Jowett, and here's Pitts again. Pitts will be tackled just outside the 20, so Trinity can really put pressure on the Eagles here. Here's Boothroyd. Boothroyd, difficult man to get down, Boothroyd, isn't he? He's got, after contact there, he's made about 3 or 4 metres and he's inside the 10 already. Now it's with Hood, spins it out to the right. It's with Gale. Gale to Pitts. Can Pitts get the ball away? The support was there, but fair play to the Eagles. They'd moved up quickly to close down the space. But here's the short ball from Liam Hood to Tommy Doyle, but Tommy Doyle doesn't get it down. And now then, the referee is showing a yellow card to who and why is the question at the moment. Well, Tommy Doyle looked a certain scorer, and he didn't hold on to the ball. The ball went loose, and then the next minute, the referee's pulling out a yellow card, and Liam Hood has been sent to the sin bin, but absolutely no idea why. And I can see about, 5,500, 6,000, maybe more people in the ground shaking their heads for that one. I don't really think either the referee gave us an indication as to why Liam Hood had been sin bin, but that is the case. So Trinity down to 12 men then, early in this second half. And a chance maybe for the Eagles to find some space in that Trinity rear guard, with Trinity being a man like. Here's Guaze again, who's just getting his head through the gap, but goes to ground. And there's no way through this time as the Eagles chip over the top. Walmsley's aware of the danger. Walmsley gets back just short of his own line, and Lachlan Walmsley deals with it perfectly. And it's thanks to one of the Wakefield Trinity media team here, actually, who are helping me out with the sin bin. Jacob just saying that Liam Hood's in the bin for a professional foul after Doyle's try, so I'm guessing that Doyle did get the ball down. The try's been disallowed because of a professional foul, and I think it's because Liam Hood delayed the start of the game. So Hood's in the bin for a professional foul then, and so Trinity down to 12. So a bit of a test here for Darryl Powell's men then early in the second half, but they're in possession at the moment as Tommy Doyle takes up dummy half duties. Pass out to the right hand side, and a kick through collected by Marsh to Ben Jones-Bishop. Trinity started that second half on the attack, but having a man sin-binned wasn't a part of the plan. But the ball goes to ground and Trinity can come away again here with Alford. Alford sticks out a right arm, can't quite force his way through, but very nearly. But he's held up just inside the 10, right on this left-hand touchline side. Trinity attacking a packed North Stand tonight. Here's Boothroyd. Boothroyd with a bit of a goose step there and a charge and a burst and goes to ground. The 12 men of Trinity come forward again then. Doyle to Gale to Griffin. Griffin gets his head down and goes for the line. He's held up just short. Here's Doyle. Doyle back to Pitts. Pitts to Gale as Trinity come left again. Always danger when Trinity come to the left. Walmsley comes back inside though towards the post. The forward options had been cut off left, so Walmsley goes back towards the post. There's some interference there at the play the ball. And Trinity have been awarded a penalty. And, well, is this one of the rare occasions this season where Trinity decide to take the 2 in a penalty situation? I don't think it's happened very often. They more often than not would have run that, but I guess what it does do is just run the clock down whilst Liam Hood is in the sin bin. And well, it looks as though Max Jowett is going to make sure he runs the clock down, because I'm thinking that this kick will probably take quite some time. He's got the tee in his hand, but he's in no rush to get to the ball, to get the ball on the tee. There's a discussion taking place between Jowett and one of the Trinity water carriers there and the referee. And eventually Max Jowett does get towards the ball and he will put the ball down on the kicking tee. So 18-0 at half time should become 20 points to 0. And you would think that if Sheffield were to get back into this game, then this would have been their moment. This period with Hood in the sin bin would have been their moment to do that. But as it turns out, they're about to concede another 2 points to the trusty right boot of Max Jowett. So here he steps up now just to the left of the post and he thumps it into the North Stand roof. Never in doubt as far as Max Jowett was concerned. So 20 points to 0 it is. So the 12 men of Trin are not just hanging on at the moment, but they've extended the lead again. So that just puts the Eagles under more pressure, because they now need to score more than 3 times, don't they, to get close to the Trin and get in front of them. A tall order, no question about that, bearing in mind that they have probably only threatened the Trinity line once in the whole game so far. Now it's Aston then, gets things underway. It's collected by Lachlan Walmsley, who appears to be getting more and more comfortable and confident and familiar with that full-back role, as Darryl Powell trusts Max Jowett in the halves, bearing in mind the injury issues that Trinity have had in the halves, with the likes of Mason Leno and Miles Lawford missing for long periods. Jowett certainly adding something in the middle of the field for the Trin. Now it's Walmsley though, supporting down the middle for the Trin from full-back, and he's held up just short of the halfway line. Doyle to Pitts again. Pitts with the offload to Jowett. Oh! And there's a big ooh and an ah in the crowd, because it looked as though Jowett could have been a scorer. Then Marsh comes away though with the loose ball. Trinity have got to get back here. Sheffield threatening at the moment then. Here comes Glover. Glover on the burst. Glover, there's a penalty there for a high shot on Glover. First time we've really seen Glover in action going forward. James Glover, born in Wakefield, playing in the centres for the Eagles tonight. It's within penalty range. They're not going to take it. They need tries. Quick tap by Jack Hansen then. Hansen with the offload. Hodgson drives it in. Trinity defending with their 12 men temporarily, then with Liam Hood in the sin bin. Sheffield move it left. Marsh with a brilliant ball inside, you have to say. And Glover will have enjoyed that against his hometown club. As I mentioned, born in Wakefield. And it's a great bit of play by Matty Marsh. and Glover running on his right hand shoulder was there to take the pass and goes over behind the post, and the Eagles are up and running with their first score of the evening. So Trinity's 12 defenders are opened up really there, but it was good play by Marsh, the fullback, is a good footballer, no question about that. They missed him at Wembley as Trinity, you remember, thrashed Sheffield on the day, 50 points to 6. So hardly blame the fullback for not being there for that. But tonight he's showing what a good player he is and what an influence on this Sheffield team he can be. And Glover, the centre, supporting well and taking the pass to go over. Wakefield Trinity 20, Sheffield 4. Here comes the kick then to add another 2. So this just gives Sheffield Eagles a sniff. It's no more than that at the moment, but nonetheless it will give them some encouragement. And Daryl Powler's recognised that and is making a substitution and is bringing Kai Rodwell back into the action now. And Toby Boothroyd is the man who will leave the field. So concede a try and bring your enforcer, I guess, is what Rodwell's become, hasn't he? And he comes back into the action with Hood still in the sin bin. So 20 points to 6, Trinity have the lead. No real danger signs, no red lights flashing for the Trin yet. But if the Eagles were to get another, that would certainly encourage the away team from South Yorkshire, that is for sure. As Trinity with some solid defence inside that Eagles 20-metre area from that Max Jowett kick-off. It's Hansen at dummy half with heavy strapping on his right knee, Hansen. And the Eagles bring the ball down the middle of the park. Ashurst in there, Griffin in there as well, Rodwell as well, I think. Here's Jesse Senilafeo, who down the years has been a really tricky customer, a difficult customer, an awkward forward to get to ground. The Trinity boys do it there though, as one of the Eagles players just lose their footing there going up towards the halfway line. It's Broadbent who goes to ground. Now then, it's a kick. It cannons off a Wakefield player there. I don't think there was an attempt to play the ball, so it should be Trinity ball here, you would think. As the ball goes into touch, it did ricochet off a Trinity man from that Aston kick through on the last, but it will just be a handover in the middle of the field. And again, Trinity are not going to be in too much of a rush. In fact, the 10 minutes has passed really, really quickly actually. It looks as though Liam Hood is just about ready to return to the action. Over on the far side, just receiving some last minute instructions from Danny Kermond. On that touchline there, Liam Hood pacing up and down, ready to get back into it. Doyle at dummy half. Rodwell, who's put in quite a stint in his first stint, is perhaps back into the action a little earlier than he might otherwise have expected. But a great job he's doing nonetheless, as Trinity have got their trials and tribulations with their middles at the moment, so many injured. Rodwell having to put in the hard yards and the extra minutes to help the team at the moment. Here's Hood, who's back into it now, to Doyle. Doyle with the offload to that man Rodwell, who just cannons into those 3 Sheffield Eagles defenders. Still makes a couple of metres though after contact before he goes to ground, and he's held up inside the 10. A try for Trinity would settle the nerves here. Doyle pits, Jowett in the line, he runs into the line at such pace, Max Jowett. But Sheffield are aware of the danger and they've closed him down over on that right hand edge as Trinity bring it back towards the middle. Again with Pitts to Doyle. Doyle, who just gets those legs pumping again, and he's held up about 5 metres away. They go right to Jowett. Jowett with a kick behind the line. Oh, it's a brilliantly weighted kick by Max Jowett, and Ian Thornley has read it really, really well. Well done, Ian Thornley, but also seriously well done, Max Jowett, with a delightful kick. Luke Gale-esque, I think, was the kick there from Jowett, and he certainly provided an additional fluency to Trinity on that right hand side, Max Jowett, I think, since he's gone into the halves. They miss him at full back without doubt, but he's done a good job in the halves. Great kick behind the line by Max Jowett, and a really well judged chase by Thornley, who gets in on the end of it. Ian Thornley, the try scorer, sponsored by Maureen Cummings for the Trin. Thanks to all the sponsors of the Wakefield Trinity players in this 2024 season. Your support is much appreciated. Ian Thornley back in the team today, will be delighted to get back on the score sheet. And we said a Trinity try there would just settle the nerves. I doubt they really had any, in fairness, after that Sheffield try. But great time to score nonetheless for the Trin. Thornley going over. And Trinity now lead by 24 points to 6. A kick with a little bit more difficulty attached to it, this, for Max Jowett. He's been 100% tonight. 3 conversions and a penalty for Max Jowett. And this to the right of the post is just a touch more difficult as he, again, just settles himself, as he so often does, and strikes it. But he's put that one wide, Max Jowett. I said it's a touch more difficult from that right-hand side. And, well, I think that goes down as a rare miss as far as the Trinity halfback's concerned. 24-6 then to the Trin, and the floodlights here now shining brightly on this Friday night at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. It's where it all started on a Friday, isn't it? Of course, the championship season. Anyone was here will remember for some time that wonderful evening that we had in front of a capacity crowd against Bradford Bulls in round 1 of the championship. Seems a long time ago actually, that now, doesn't it? Trinity just with that 1 defeat to Toulouse, otherwise unbeaten in the championship. Short kick off, who's underneath it? Max Jowett is really well read. Jowett into just about everything at the moment, isn't he? Goal kicks, kick throughs for tries, and there underneath the short kick off from the restart. Always alert, always aware of the danger, always on the move, Max Jowett, as Tommy Doyle back in the middle again. More than happy to charge the ball in and carry strongly for the Trin in the middle of the park. Tommy Doyle up towards the halfway line. I wonder if we'll see the Sheffield heads drop potentially now, having scored themselves, to then let Trinity in just 5 minutes later. 4 tries to 1. The Trin have the advantage at the moment. On the last tackle, Liam Hood appealing to the referee about something there. Aaron Moore, the ref, having nothing to do with that as Gale launches a kick. It's collected by Matty Marsh, the fullback, but again a really good chase. Griffin and Jowett straight onto the Sheffield Eagles fullback to knock him to the ground inside his own 10-metre area. Good kick, as they often say, is only really as good as the quality of the chase, and it was good there. And Sheffield again having to run this ball from deep inside their own territory. Here's Eddie Batty for the Eagles, wearing 8. Middle of the park. Trinity solid in defence, in the middle again, and the Eagles are already on the last tackle. So it's going to be Hansen who spins it out. It's going to be Aston who'll kick over the top. It's to Jermaine McGilvery. It bounces awkward. Look at the handoff from McGilvery. He's well tackled round the ankles in the end, but there's a brilliant handoff initially. I think it might have been on Aston, I'm not sure. Here's Walmsley. Wanted to move it left, but the right-hand edge of the Eagles' defence had moved up quickly to prevent any further movement, so he goes down the middle and checks his run. Now it's with Alford, who's running hard and running strong and running really willingly for the Trin. Now it's with Ashurst. Ashurst tries to get away from one. Some good defence there, though, by Bailey Liu, and Ashurst is brought to ground about 15 metres out. Now it's Rodwell who rolls forward again. My goodness, he's almost to the line. Rodwell who pushes that Eagles defence right back to the line again. Now it's Gale. Gale with a kick, and a simple job in the end for Matty Ashurst. Well, I guess if you take a chance, Luke Gale, then you quite often get your rewards. And the kick was intended to go behind the line. It cannoned off a Sheffield Eagles defender. And who was there first? Matty Ashurst. Well done, sir, for the follow-up there. And Ashurst scores. Pounces on the loose ball behind the line in the in-goal area under no real pressure. And it's the Gale-Ashurst combination that extends the lead further. And Trinity extend that lead to 28 points to 6. And 2 tries in 5 minutes has rather stemmed or blocked in its tracks that Sheffield Eagles potential comeback. It never really looked like one, in honesty, did it? But when James Glover went over on 50 minutes with Trinity down to 12 temporarily with Liam Hood in the sin bin, maybe that could have launched something of a comeback, but it hasn't. And Thornley's try on 55, and now Matty Ashurst's try on 60. So 20 minutes to go. And if Max Jowett kicks this, that's 30 points to 6. And Trinity just give the impression at the moment that they might be cruising towards another victory here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. Red, white and blue army is the cry from behind the posts in the north stand. So many red, white and blue Wakefield Trinity shirts packed in there behind the post tonight as Max Jowett comes in again. And again, there was never really any doubt or any question about that. And Trinity hit the 30 mark then. And as we enter the final quarter of the game, the 2 points are pretty much in the bag, that's for sure. And he's a tough old taskmaster, Darryl Powell, isn't he? Because what he wouldn't be happy with would be if Trinity were just to take their foot off the accelerator now. He'll want them to continue with this momentum for the full 80. As Jowett again comes across brilliantly to take that short kick-off. It was up against the likes of Ben Jones-Bishop, who come off the wing to try and take it. A little bit of invention again from the Eagles from the kick-off. But again, Trinity aware of the danger. Penalty here. Ball reefed out in the tackle as Liam Kay enters the fray. And Trinity will have a penalty. I think we've seen all the Trinity substitutes now, with the exception of Isaac Shaw. Andy, I think just Isaac Shaw to appear so far. Andy Davis, of course, on camera, as always here. As I mentioned at the top of this commentary, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday again to Andy. All the quality camera work that you've seen, of course, throughout the season comes from Andy. And the commentary normally comes from TC. He's having a well-earned rest, as I mentioned earlier. He's having a little break in the sun, but he'll be back with you very shortly as well. And Trinity launch another attack again. So at the moment when they come forward, Trinity, they look likely scorers. Rodwell close there. Now I think it's Lachlan Walmsley, who's just trying to wrestle himself clear. And he's held up over the line. One or two Eagles defenders look as though they're blowing a touch now. They've done a lot of tackling in the last 10-15 minutes. Actually, they've done a lot of tackling in the game, haven't they? Here's Liam Hood. Hood looks to go on his own. And Liam Hood with a big, big cheer. And I think TC would have been pleased with that, Andy, wouldn't he? That's the show and go. TC talks about it a lot. And great bit of work by Liam Hood. And the tries are coming thick and fast at the moment. And, well, he's quick off the mark, Liam Hood. Over 5-10 metres is pretty quick. But it was also the speed of his mind and his thinking there. He saw some daylight in the Eagles' defence, saw the gap. And the other thing about Liam Hood, he's got that upper body strength and that power, hasn't he, just to be able to push himself over the line when the defence closes in. And Liam Hood scores Trinity's third try of this second half, and Wakefield cruising and comfortable at the moment, that is for sure. And looks as though a double substitution here, because looks as though Kai Rodwell is leaving the field, so is Liam Hood, and we are seeing Isaac Shaw now. He's the last Trinity member of the 17 to take to the field. Isaac Shaw, the youngster, getting some regular game time at the moment in Darrell Powell's starting 17. One of the beneficiaries of the injury crises in the front row with the middles at the moment. Luke Bain is also back out there, and now Max Jowett, actually in a very similar position to the kick from the Matty Ashurst try 5 minutes ago. Can he nail this one this time? Actually, it was a Thornley try he was out there for, wasn't it? Here he comes. That one is through the middle, though. 36 points to 6. 3 tries in the second half, adding to those 3 tries in the first half. It was Rodwell, Griffin and Alforts in the first half. It's Thornley, Ashurst and Hood in the second period. So as Liam Hood leaves the field for the last 13 minutes of this game, that will cause a little bit of a reshuffle, but I suspect Liam Kay or Tommy Doyle can go into dummy half. There's plenty of options there, and such is the levels of flexibility in some of these Trinity squad members that they can play in more than one or sometimes 2 or 3 positions. As Luke Bain back on the pitch takes the first drive after the kick-off. I think that's Tommy Doyle in the action there as well. No, it's Isaac Shaw actually. Shaw does well. Now Liam Kay comes on a scoop forward, and there's some rough tackling there by Mitch Clark, and in fact yeah, absolutely, Trinity players not happy with that. It was Mitch Clark who went high on Liam Kay. The Trinity players rushed in quickly. Liam Kay wasn't happy with it, and the referee moved in quickly to blow the whistle, and I think Trinity will have the penalty. And will the referee, Aaron Moore, will he have a word with the Sheffield Eagles tackler there? Will it be just a word, or will we see a card? Let's wait and see. It's Mitch Clark, isn't it, who's getting the talking to from the referee. Not really been that sort of game, so it's just a talking to for Mitch Clark this time, and Trinity will have the penalty with, as I say, the 2 points pretty much in the bag. Luke Gale launches one over towards that Neil Fox MBE stand. Still a great joy to come to the DIY Kitchen Stadium and see the new stand so heavily populated. Brilliant support for Trinity this season, home and away. Here's a great burst from Isaac Shaw. Shaw is held but tried to turn in the tackle in the offload. Elected to hold on. Now it's Tommy Doyle. Doyle can go on his own here, but he's held up by Eddie Batty, but he gets a brilliant ball away in the tackle to Liam Kay. Kay's going to be held up, but he's only 4 metres out. Doyle, will he go on his own? Gets a ball out to Ollie Pratt. Oh, Ollie Pratt's done brilliantly there, but so has Ben Jones-Bishop to bring him down literally about half a metre away. Now it's with Kay. Kay to Gale. Gale with a little chip over the top here. Griffin giving change. Danger for the Eagles. But the Eagles have collected that one through Glover. And Glover is run the ball dead there. It was under pressure from Josh Griffin, who'd followed up that Luke Gale kick. And, well, this is turning out to be a game of real dominance as far as the Trinity team are concerned. Here comes the dropout, and the Eagles have got it back actually from the dropout. Credit to them. They've not given up the ghost just yet, but with just 10 minutes to go on the clock here, 36-6 Trinity lead. It looks as though it is beyond Sheffield now, and it just gives the impression, doesn't it, the gap between first and third in this division is pretty sizable. Great defence by the Trin again. Isaac Shaw in there, Doyle in there, Luke Bain in there on Mitch Clark. The crowd enjoyed that as the Eagles come forward again. Eddie Batty, it is trying to get back to his feet. Liam Kay in there at the tackle. Batty does get to his feet. Now it's Aston. Aston with a good ball on this right-hand side. Leo gets the ball away. Alfords has got the loose ball, though. It's a disappointing end as far as the Eagles concerned, but Trinity not complaining. And Trinity with a quick play of the ball and a good burst by Ollie Pratt. What a season this youngster's having, isn't he, Ollie Pratt? Now it's with Gale. Gale to Wormsley. Wormsley's route to the right is cut off. But Trinity look as though they might have the extra man on the right, do they? No, they come left. Here's Isaac Shaw. Great little step from Isaac Shaw. He's a real athletic looking figure, isn't he? Isaac Shaw, big man. Oh, penalty, interfering at the play of the ball. But I'm pretty convinced that Trinity are not going to take the 2 this time, as they did when they were awarded a penalty in a similar position when Liam Hood was in the sin bin. I think they'll play on from here. Luke Gale's got hold of the ball. I think that's exactly what's in his mind. Just working out what the options and what the plan is here. It's going to be Shaw. Shaw will go towards the line. It's taking how many Eagles defenders there? 4 of them to bring Shaw down. Fresh legs as well. Isaac Shaw, of course, not long on the field as the ball spun out by Doyle. Doyle, here's Jowett. Jowett with that spin. Oh, and he just tried to get the ball out in the tackle. To put the ball down, he was over the line. It was a certain try scorer, Max Jowett, but as he tried to get the arms free and get the ball down, the ball just spun out of his grasp. And Jowett just spills it, and therefore it's going to be head and feed at the scrum for the Sheffield Eagles. Time running out here then. Trinity's next 3, just to give you the heads up, are at home to Widnes, which is a week on Sunday, so Trinity have got a longer turnaround, and that might just give them the opportunity to get some of those big middle players that they're missing back. Potentially, I gather, Renofa Tony might be close to getting back into action next weekend. So it's Widnes away next week, and then after that, Halifax away. Did I say Widnes away? It's Widnes at home, Halifax away, and then Swinton away as Trinity embark on this 6 home games in the last 8 of this championship campaign. Sheffield come forward, drop ball, picked up by Isaac Shaw, and Sheffield looking as though they've run out of legs, and this powerful Trinity outfit have given the Eagles some fair punishment this afternoon, and Trinity now can come forward and look to score again. Here they come with Doyle. Doyle to Liam Kay, who's been really busy and lively since he came into the action. Out there in the middle of the park as Trinity look to break the 40 mark here. Now it's with Luke Gale again. Gale, it's Wormsley. Wormsley with the long ball. Oh, here's Alfords. How often have we seen it? How often have we seen it this season? Darrell Alfords goes over in the left-hand corner. And you've got to say, it's great credit to Lachlan Wormsley filling in at full-back. I was speaking earlier about his looking more and more familiar with his role at full-back, Lachlan Wormsley. And there he's showing that he's got the quality and the awareness to put out a long ball out onto that left-hand side. And, Darrell Alfords doesn't need asking twice. He was about, 10 metres out when he received the pass. And we've seen him touching down in that corner so often this season. That's his 2nd try of the night. Trinity's 7th. And by my reckoning, Darrell Alfords now goes on to 18 tries in the championship this season. And he's actually overtaken Lachlan Wormsley on 17. And it was Wormsley's pass that gave Alfords the opportunity. And Trinity now have that lead. Trinity 40, Sheffield Eagles 6. And I think the Trinity fans are rubbing it in rather, aren't they, behind the post? I don't know if you can hear that, but the Trinity fans in the North Stand singing all about Wembley, reminding the Eagles players stood behind the post there of that afternoon at Wembley, of course, where Trinity ran out 50 points to 6 winners. It's 40 points to 6 at the moment. But who will forget that wonderful afternoon when Trinity lifted the 1895 Cup in front of those 10,000 or so Trinity fans that day. What an afternoon that was. So Max Jowett then is right out on the touchline again. I'm sure he will prefer this side from the left-hand side. Swings it in now. And it's a brilliant kick from Max Jowett. So Trinity move ahead by 42 points to 6. And by my reckoning, actually, if things remain as they are over the course of the rest of the season, so if Trinity continue to remain 7 points clear at the top for the rest of the campaign, then it could mean that Trinity will claim the league leaders' shield in the 4th from the last game of the season. So there will be 3 games left. Trinity will be 7 points clear, so they couldn't be caught. So the 4th game from the end of the season is Whitehaven at home. Get that one in your diary. Whitehaven at home on the 8th of September. And that could be the night, if things stay as they are, with Trinity with the 7 points lead at the top, that could be the game where Trinity lift the league leaders' shield. But there's still, as I say, a long, long way to go with 7 games remaining in the remainder of this campaign, and we've got 3 minutes remaining in this game. Trinity 42-6 as Trinity drop out from their goal line. So Sheffield, who you have to say showed some promise in the first half, but overall have been heavily and comfortably beaten by Darryl Powell's men. And we'll look to have a chat with Darryl Powell after the game. I'm sure he'll be purring at this performance. Here's Aston. Aston with the offload to Bailey Liu. Credit to the Eagles as they continue to come forward. 40 metres away from the Trinity line now. Aston with the offload. Trinity still looking busy and determined in defence. But Sheffield come forward with Aston. Aston to Jesse Senilifeo. Tackled there by Ian Thornley. Toby Boothroyd's there as well. So was Max Jowett. Goes back to Aston. Aston will kick to McGilvray's corner. Jermaine McGilvray takes it, though. He's up in the air quickly. He's under pressure from Glover. And McGilvray, though, has been taking those. How many years has he been taking those for? A lifetime, pretty much, Jermaine McGilvray. And always looked comfortable under the high ball there. So the clock running down here by my watch. We're about to enter the last minute of normal time here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. 42-6, and it's a pretty good and fair reflection that of the evening's action. Big cheers for Lachlan Wormsley as he bumps off his Sheffield man there late in the game. Great burst forward by Wormsley. Now it's Liam Kay. The pass has gone loose, though. It's all a bit untidy in the middle. I think that'll be a Trinity knock on there, and the Eagles will have head and feed. So it's going to be the Eagles who will finish on attack. Just an untidy-ish note to finish the game for the Trin. Generally, their performance tonight has been really well drilled, really well organised. When the chances have come, they've taken them. The defence has been really, really strong, really powerful, and they've hardly given the Eagles a chance. A kick over the top is charged down by the Trin, and you might have heard in the background there the attendance being announced, which I think was 4,821. So another good crowd in just shy of 5,000 in the ground tonight. So the Eagles will have the tap, and we're into stoppage time now by my watch here. And Trinity will be determined to avoid giving the Eagles what will only be a consolation, but they'll be keen to stop that anyway. Here's Batty. Batty takes the ball in as the Eagles have possession 10 metres from the Wakefield Trinity line then. Here's Hansen at dummy half. Hansen with the offload to Broadbent. Broadbent steps off his left foot, and he's held up 5 metres away from the Trinity line. It goes back to Batty. Batty good with his hands to Aston, but Aston there wasn't good with his, because the hands of Aston just couldn't take that ball in on the run, knocked the ball forward. And any thoughts of a consolation for the Eagles have gone with that moment, you would think. And we've just had confirmation that Max Jowett has taken the Man of the Match award, sponsored by Beat Autism. Max Jowett, of course, Man of the Match, Player of the Match, Max Jowett, and very well deserved. I think there will be people who probably saw that brilliant tackle in the first half, remembered that and thought, yeah, it's worthy of the Player of the Match award for that alone. But of course he kicked plenty of goals as well and had a number of involvements in the tries. So Max Jewett takes another Player of the Match award. 42-6, very, very closing stages of this game here. And Trinity get the ball from the base of the scrum. Tommy Doyle comes away with it. And Trinity will bring the ball away from their own line with Darrell Alford, scorer of 2 tries tonight, 1 in the first, 1 in the second to add to his tally, I should say. And he now becomes the leading try scorer in the championship this season. Darrell Alfords with 18 tries. The referee blows the whistle. Trinity lose possession. It's all just a little bit untidy, isn't it? The closing stages of this game. And the Eagles will have head and feed at the scrum. But there goes the siren, actually. No harm done from the error. That is the end of the game. And Wakefield Trinity have run out comfortable winners here at the DIY Kitchen Stadium. 3 tries in the first half. Trinity establishing that 18 points to 0 lead at half-time with tries by Rodwell, Griffin and Alfords. And then in the second half, well, despite Liam Hood going in the sin bin and Sheffield scoring their only points during that period on 50 minutes, with James Glover going over to reduce the arrears to 20 points to 6, Wakefield then ran away with it with tries to Ian Thornley on 55, Matty Ashurst on 60, Liam Hood on 65, and Darrell Alfords with 6 minutes to go. So Trinity running out comfortable winners, making it a hat-trick of victories over Sheffield Eagles this season. Temporarily, Trinity go 9 points clear at the top of the championship before Toulouse, of course, play their game this weekend away at Doncaster tomorrow. But I hope you've enjoyed this one tonight. My thanks to Andy Davis, as always, on the commentary, on the camera, I beg your pardon. Hope you've enjoyed it. Trinity, big winners. Wakefield Trinity 42, Sheffield Eagles 6.